All right, 1, 2 in the place to be. What's happening, y'all? Hip hop studies in university or in academia, uh, places of higher learning, past high school. It's really becoming a thing now. There's a lot of institutions that are reaching out to the history and culture to bridge some learning potential with our students. Today, this was a really interesting day. This was the world premiere, actually public premiere of a great day in Twin Cities hip hop. I hope you're doing well, and we plan to definitely tour the country and share this important piece with you very soon. We are here at St. Cloud State University.
All right. Well, my name is Jason Woods. I'm Vice President of Strategic Enrollment Management. Basically, really, the way that I see my role is I oversee the experience for the students. So I try to allow them to have the best experience they can have on this campus. And so whether that means bringing opportunities to be educated in different ways, such as work that you do, or just being there to support them in something that might be going on, or support them when something's going great. And so whether that's from the admissions process, financial aid, graduation, commencement, all that kind of stuff.
In terms of this film, the documentary, how did you feel about it, and do you see a use of this film in this entry ramp into hip hop studies?
No, absolutely. So I'm gonna give you two answers. So like the first, for the personal, that's like that's me. Like
Right.
I'm like that's me. You know, and really, you all had here what I think many communities that I grew up in were trying to get. Right. So it was just amazing to see. So for me, like personally, it was an amazing to see. And then the other piece too, when people are talking about, the stages and phases of hip hop, I go again to Andre 3000, who's my guy, and he's like, oh, I like these young folks. They're all right. They're just trying to do their thing. So there's all this differences, but it really spoke to me in regards to what they were saying and, the educational component of it. So that piece there for me personally, man, I was just like, yeah, that's my heart. And then from an educational perspective, in one of our sessions earlier, one of the presenters talked about learning something but not realizing you're learning and feeling like it's freedom, right? And it's free. You're in a space that you're free. And I think that's what this does.
Freedom.
Right.
Oh, wait.
It gives you...
We were talking about that word on the way up.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
It allows you to connect
yeah.
in a way. You're going to learn some things, but at the same time, you think you're freeing yourself.
Yeah.
When in really, you're learning how to navigate the world, learning things. So to me, this is that bridge to students, because it bridges the entire thing. And not to give the ending away, I think that's the piece that for me was like, oh, no, he didn't.
Yeah, okay, I like that. I like that. You caught that. Huh?
I said no, he didn't.
Okay, you caught that.
I said no, he didn't.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Okay, that's what's up.
So for me, I was like, man, and so what an amazing conversation or an opportunity to open up narrative or dialogue between people.
This is a rare documentary in the sense that you don't see a lot of us. And I'm talking about, when I say us, I'm talking specifically Black folks, preserving a lot of our contributions. And so, especially for the young people in here and those who work with the youth, I highly recommend at any point in time that you feel something is important around you to document that. And do it to preserve history, but also it's really interesting, those moments that you might take for granted. You understand what I mean? The moments that are just like, oh, that's just natural, that's just what we did. I don't know what that means for you, but it's valuable.
My name is Mike Dando. I am an assistant professor of English at St. Cloud State University. My background, my scholarly training and my research is on culturally relevant pedagogies, culturally sustaining pedagogies in the classroom. And I was asking myself, and this was years ago, I asked myself, well, what does that mean to me? What does culturally relevant pedagogies mean in the 21st century? And I kept coming back to hip hop. It is where the kids, everybody talks about a good game about like, meet kids where they're at. Well, where they're at is hip hop. Where they're at is hip hop culture. And that's not just me kind of because I like it. It is the singular most consumed, streamed, produced, created art form culture on the planet. Hip hop is all about stories. Like MCs tell stories, right? Graffiti artists tell stories. it's been about self-expression. It's been about the culture trying to document. It's been about the folks trying to be demanded to be seen. And so that's, to me, when I think about a documentary, right? When I think about, well, what is a documentary supposed to do? Is not only is it supposed to document, it is supposed to curate. It is supposed to elevate. It is supposed to make a statement about where we were when we were. And so that's why this kind of thing is important, I think.
With this particular documentary, it's rare that you see the Black experience documented by Black people, preserved for a historical legacy as an educational tool for those in the present and in the future to come. How do you see this kind of documentary, A Great Day in Twin Cities Hip Hop, potentially being used in other university campuses with their hip hop studies, or just in history in general?
Well, I mean, rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live, right? That's KRS-One is talking about. We have to understand that hip hop is not limited. When I say hip hop is not limited, I mean geographically, I mean temporally, I mean sonically, right? But hip hop is everywhere. Hip hop is universal. And so if you are on a college campus, let's say, and if you got more than 4 people in the room, you have been impacted by hip hop culture. And so if if a college campus is gonna say, okay, well, we want to do something that's meaningful for the students, understand what the culture is, understanding how the culture works, understanding what the narrative of hip hop is nationally, locally, globally. Like, you got to do it. You got to do it. The more voices, the better, in my mind. And that's what this kind of documentary does. Is it adds to the chorus of the story.
From an institutional perspective, we are at a brink where we are recharting our own history as an institution. But while doing so, why not be a part of history? And I think what this is a part of history, right? Like making something amazing happen. And I was just walking over here, and 2 people that I spoke to, that's amazing. Did you see the film? Like, to have that type of self-capture, that kind of, right? And so all of those things, there's so many amazing things about it.
Be sure to document your movement, because when you don't do that, then you put yourself in a position to be exploited. And I think that's what we see right now within hip-hop culture or youth culture in general. First of all, I acknowledge your leadership and what you're doing here in establishing a hip-hop studies program in all places in the country, like others, but this particular innovative program is at St. Cloud State.
Appreciate just that connection we were able to make with you, and just we're honored to have you here, you know.
Likewise. Appreciate y'all. So that's what it is. We're live at St. Cloud State. It was a great day in Twin Cities Hip Hop today. And remember, we're reflecting on our culture, and we're standing on untold legacies. So pay attention, open your eyes and your ears, because a whole bunch of things are going on right around you.